Hi everybody, welcome back to Talk with TQ and the Energy Stoners Cafe. And as always, I try to find the most interesting people on the planet to present to you. Tonight I'm really very thrilled to be interviewing a fabulous artist. Her name is Tanya Johnson, and she is like the darling of Westchester right now when it comes to the arts. She's an artist's artist, that's my term for her, because she does things, I'd say, unabashed. She takes things within her environment and she just thinks on that right brain, and she doesn't let anything stop her. Of course, you have to have your left brain to make your right brain work, but that's for another conversation and another interview. Tanya, Happy New Year to
Thank
you,
you.
girl.
Happy New Year to you
I'm
as
so
well.
happy for you.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you've been making some strides.
Yes.
Yes. I noticed when I first interviewed you some time ago, it seemed that the library system, which supports the arts very well, I think they probably are the entity that supports the arts most in Westchester County.
Right.
We're just really gracing you with venue and opportunity. And I'm impressed with your work.
Thank you.
What's going on here? We're at the Bethany Arts Center in Ossining, New York.
Yep, well, welcome to my studio. I call it Drift 239 because, as you know, Drift stands for designing recycled items from trash. And this is my studio away from home.
Okay.
So this is where I mostly create and do all of my work.
It's a nice, cozy spot.
Yes.
It is. What brought you here in this particular venue?
Well, it was a suggestion from Sarah Bracy White, actually.
We like her.
She told me about it, and I reached out to one of the people here so that I could, I took a tour, and I fell in love with the place. There's multiples of rooms, and you can, it's a place to come when home might be too much chaos or you just want to get away. And this is a great place to create and do art. And you get to meet a lot of different artists from various backgrounds and styles of art. It's a great place to be.
Is it open all the time? Do you know anything about the hours here?
The hours are great because you can come and go as you please. You
Wow.
can stay as long as you want.
Overnight?
Well, they do have residencies where
Okay.
people do stay
Oh.
and work on their craft. I'm not sure exactly how long the residencies are, but they can stay. They have apartments here that they come, they work, and they do a lot of great work and try and hone in on their skill and their craft.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great place.
So what time in the morning, I had to ask you, do you start?
Well, I come here probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Especially working days. About 3 in the afternoon, and I stay till about 7 or 8. If it's a weekend or a day that I'm not working, I'm here a little earlier because when I have a show that's coming up, I like to work on things constantly and get it done.
So you're representing yourself. You're doing all this yourself.
Yes.
And you're getting noticed.
Yes, that's good.
Not an easy feat. Not an easy feat. I know that I saw something about you, and you were sort of like I'll say, the darling of the arts community, which is a beautiful thing.
Oh,
It
that's
is a
good.
beautiful, as you well should be.
No,
And
thanks.
so I see you've done some different work since I've seen you last, and I'm sure you have
Yes.
more.
Yes, I've done a lot of different things, and the thing that I like most about the work is it's growing. Whereas the other pieces were kind of small, but now, as you can see in the studio, the show that's coming up will have a 9-foot giraffe in it. I have African kings and queens, as well as a piano player who is playing a piano.
This guy?
This guy.
Hey.
Now, if he turns around and talks to you,
Then we got an
we're
issue.
out.
Then we'll see you later. Yeah, because I thought it was, before. And you actually created the keyboard.
Yes.
And I thought it was piano. I was getting ready to play. And it's, you know,
Yeah, it's
so
all
what
paper.
so what made you start doing this? So have you been doing this since you're like a little girl, or is it something that found you?
Well, I always liked art, number one. Number two, as I grew up, I became an art teacher, and I taught K through 8 for 10 years or so. And then I went on from there to teaching younger kids, and now basically I'm really teaching, working with older adults, seniors. But I've always had the love of art and like to create. And one of the things, too, is we have so much waste. And when the paper goes into our landfills, plastic goes into our landfills, glass, and everything you can possibly imagine. If you look at an ocean, you can really see or go to some of these places and see miles and miles and miles of trash just washed ashore. There are artists besides myself that do recycle art as well,
And
but
upcycling.
upcycling too, because you know, you can take clothing, everything you can imagine. Here you have a piece that has fabric that was donated, but then again you have a shower curtain that's recycled and upcycled and reclaimed. So, but you know, our animals in our oceans are they're at risk, and our planet is at risk. So, you know, I figured, you know, let me just do my small part and create art. I'm an artist. I love art. Let me take some of these things and really go to town with it.
That's a beautiful thing. I think it's likely that as an artist you can see something and you in your mind it just kind of goes into what it could be. You know, and I think that's you'll be blessed. You'll go to heaven for that. That's what I
And I
say.
get to heaven.
Hey, you want to get to heaven,
That's
even though they have
right.
more fun than hell. But you know, we want to go to heaven.
Yep,
You
yep.
know, I think that it's a beautiful thing that you're doing that, and you're creating magnificent work.
Thanks.
You know, I saw a lot of it online, and I know that James created a piece that was magnificent for you, that really showcased your work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are you getting any kind of kudos from the environmentalists in the area? Are they working with you, or are you doing this just yourself?
Well, right now I'm doing it just myself. I did reach out to Recycle Right from New York. This is a New York State thing. And they put out information and literature that tells you how to recycle your plastic, your paper, your cans, everything. But I'm hoping that, you know, somebody will say, you know what, I want to partner with you.
Oh, there you
That would
go.
be good.
It would be good. Explain to the audience, because a lot of people don't know about this, about upcycling. Sometimes you get a lot of beautiful glassware. People will give you wine bottles that are magnificent, and they just go in the recycle bin.
Yep.
But explain to the audience the difference between recycling and upcycling.
Well, when you recycle, you are taking things that would normally go in your trash, and there's different types of recycling that you can do. For example, if you are taking a plastic straw, plastic forks, and things like that, you would think that you would put that in the recycle bin. That's actually in the garbage bin. And when I do my workshops, I ask people, do you know the difference? Where should you put these things? And, you know, for a lot of them, they really don't know what to do with it. And I give out information and literature on what to, where to, how to recycle. The upcycling, you can take a piece of clothing, you can take a bottle, you could take anything and create something else out of that item. And there's some things, for example, take a lampshade. You can cut out the fabric from the lampshade, and you have this beautiful structure there. Turn it upside down, put a plate or a wooden trivet on top of it, and you have a little table, you know,
Wow,
so
see?
that you can do just about anything with things that you would normally throw away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
upcycling is where it's
upcycle.
at.
Yep.
It's where it's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for those, I'll just tell the for those of you that get that bottle of wine from the same person and that same wine, and then you find you have all these beautiful bottles.
Yes.
It's very hard to just put them in the trash or even in the recycle.
Yes.
You make something out of it instead.
Yes.
You know, something that someone would keep, something keepable.
It's keepable. It's use. You can reuse it, and you know, oh, where'd you get this? Oh, I made it. Don't you remember this used to be your wine bottle?
I liked it so much, I made something out of it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, where did this guy get his beautiful head of hair?
Well, his head of hair came from Retake, Remake. And that's a place where people can bring their old art items that they don't need anymore, and you can go there, you can get some. So I reuse things that they have done. And this was just fabric, really, and cut apart. And now he has beautiful hair.
He's got a nice head of hair. He does. So the last time we spoke, you were just like preparing for other exhibits. I think you were working at the library system.
Yes.
And like I had said, the Westchester Library System is very supportive of the arts, whether they're in Mount Vernon or all the way up in Peekskill or Cortland Manor. They support the arts, and I think that's a beautiful thing. As far as the materials you use, I'm always so fascinated on how you decide what you can make out of it. So this guy, maybe I'll call him Melvin, you know, he's a pianist.
Yes.
And, you know, if you walk in, he looks like he's actually playing the piano. You know, what
Yeah.
made you think to do that?
Well, actually, several people, when they walk by, when I open the door, they think that somebody's already in here, and I say, no, no, he's good. But I thought of him because I was doing some things with music, and to get some of the items, I didn't want to just buy, you know, clothing and everything. So I wanted to get things that I could recycle. This is, like I said, this was fabric, and this is faux fur, and this right here was actually a curtain. So I recreated and made it into a shirt. And you know, I sat here and I thought about it. I didn't have a shirt right next to me, but I just thought about a man's shirt and what it would look like. So that's how that came about. And the suspenders are recycled as well. Reclaim those. And I happen to have a tie at home from years ago, from what I was going to make something. What I don't know, but yeah. And he has. And everything else is cardboard. His seat is cardboard. This is a work in progress. By
Yeah.
the time you see this at the exhibit, that's going to look different.
When's the exhibit?
The exhibit, the install goes up next Friday, January 16th, and it runs until March 22nd.
January 16th, that's Martin Luther King's birthday weekend, no?
I believe so,
Yeah,
yes.
that seems very apropos. People are sort of stopped for a minute and not necessarily going to the department store. So when you first started doing this, I mean, I always try to imagine what people were like when they were children as artists. And I'm just trying to imagine what you were like. What kind of things did you take that you weren't supposed to take from your mom and dad and create something? I won't tell them.
I can't remember taking too much. One thing that I did do with my grandmothers, though, they used to sew. And I used to get the scraps off the floor and make whatever I could out of it. I made hats, I made coveralls, like little smocks and things like
Wow.
that. So, and one of my grandmothers, she had a sewing machine, an extra sewing machine, and I learned to sew. So that's where it really started. I must have been about, I'd say, 10 or 11, 12,
Yeah, that's
something
a
like
little
that.
kid. Yeah, that's just a tween. It's
Yeah.
tween. Yeah, at least they didn't let it. I mean, it's funny when children are very talented. I don't have children, but I've noticed that a lot of parents, they try to give their kids encouragement when they see something. Was your family like that?
Yeah, they were like that. They encouraged my art. My brothers, they were into the sports and everything, but I had my art. I became an art teacher, and I encouraged my daughter when she wanted to do things with the arts, write, paint, draw, etc., encouraged her to do that. Because even though she played all the sports and everything, you know, she still fell back on her art, um, and to this day, she's an author. So
Wow,
you
that's
know,
wonderful.
yeah,
You know, because you didn't discourage her by talking that awful word that I don't like to say
okay,
about artists, you know, because we really deserve more acclaim than we get,
yes,
especially financially. I always fight for artists to get what they deserve for their work. So
yes.
I know you exhibited in the Greenberg Library, which is a great venue.
Yeah, that's coming up. That'll be my first time exhibiting there.
Okay.
But in the past, over the past year, I've been at the Ossining Library. I've been at the White Plains Library.
That's a nice venue.
It's a very, it's the they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Both spaces are really
Yeah,
good spaces.
yeah.
And I've also been at the Gerard Burns Center in Ardsley.
Okay.
And a few of the other things that I've done is most recently, that just came down over at the Dana Lowenberg's district office. So
Nice.
she was there, and the piece that's up here with the Equal Rights Amendment,
Yeah.
that was from there.
Nice.
And Bethany also had an exhibit, a small works exhibit, and the piece behind you, that was from the exhibit that we had here. The
Oh.
tribal encounter.
Nice. And I see you have strands of hair. You know, you can go to the braiding salon.
Yep.
And
And
they,
you know how we have hair just laying around from, you didn't use it.
yeah,
And, I just take it from
right.
there. So I don't have to go out and really buy a whole lot of anything, you
Do you,
know?
do you feel it's like you get the opportunity to truly be yourself? Because you seem really comfortable in your own skin.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it shows.
Yep.
Not everybody's that way. Not every artist is that way.
Well, I get to do what I want to do. Nobody's saying, well, I need you to fit into this box, or you need to be in this circle, this square. No, I get to figure out what it is I want to do. I have to figure out how to do it, because sometimes it's not just easily and readily produces itself.
Yeah.
It just does. So it just comes to me. You sit, you think about it. I sat and thought about this guy here.
Melvin.
Melvin. I can't just have him floating on a box in the front.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he needs a seat or a stool, and I went with the seat as opposed to a stool, because he's going to end up with a jacket that's going to be laid across
Oh, nice.
the bench. So a lot of things that are in the studio now are works in progress.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's nothing like a work in progress.
Yep.
It just wants to keep breathing, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and sometimes things, it might be finished, but then I think and I said, you know what, that would be better if, or I should add this, and that's what happens.
Yeah. And I see behind you, there's a sister with one big afro and beautiful long eyelashes.
Yeah, and it's funny how she came about, because I had cut a circle where you see the circle, and I just had the board just laid up against the wall, and I kept looking at it, looking at it, and looking at it, and I said, oh my gosh, that's an afro. And the face that's in there, it actually turns. So you can't tell that it turns right now, but it's on a swivel. You know how they say keep your head on a swivel?
Yeah.
You cut that out.
Keep your head screwed on tight. Yes.
But that's how she came about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's special. I love her earrings, which
Yeah.
are CDs.
Which is CDs, yeah,
Yes.
back in the day, and when you have an afro back in the day, you had to pick out the lint. I found myself trying to pick out
the
all the
lint,
little pieces
Yes.
of lint that might be in there. And she needs an afro pick. I haven't made that yet, but
She's patient.
yeah.
She'll be patient, she told me.
Okay.
And I love the fist up there that you have with the heart. And I like the fact that the fist has a heart, And then you have I guess it's like African fabric. Beautiful.
Yeah, and in my work, I tried also to, not only you're seeing artwork, but I want to educate you. And there's little sayings and pieces. Where did that come from? 1968. That's
Yeah.
where the fist came in
Yeah.
at. So you have things like that, the afro. There's a little bit of history on the afro that's going to be up, and then that will carry over into my bald is beautiful, or my hair, I am not my hair.
Okay.
And then that is gonna, it'll flow.
I like
so
that.
You have to come see the show.
I do. I do have to come and see the show. So what comes next for you? Because you're just seeing, I mean, you're constantly budding and budding and budding.
Well, what comes next is I have a list of 8 things that I want to accomplish for the year. And part of those are I wanted to do I don't know what you'd call it, or host a talk about art, and have artists come in and talk about what their struggles are, or how we can help each other. That's
Yeah.
one of the things I want to do. I wanted to create a new business card, which I did. I don't have it, it's over there.
That's
A
okay.
new business card. I did that already. Check. And I wanted one of the 8 things. I'm not going to go through all 8, but
You
one of the other things is I wanted to create a space where it's actually called Drift Studio and Friends. And I needed to get a venue to host it, to hold it, and I did that. End of
Oh,
last year. Check that
okay.
off. So it's going to be next year, November 1st through the end of December 2026.
Where?
It's going to be at Town Hall, Greenberg.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Greenberg. That's a really cool place.
Yes.
I lived there for a while. Yeah, it is. And they again, their library system, the Greenberg Library, definitely supports the arts.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you'll be exhibiting there.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I got to make it to that one.
Yes, and I'm inviting, it's by invitation, and I'm inviting probably about 20 artists who will be able to bring their work, and I'm going to be asking for it. Everything is not situated in stone yet, but it's about 20 artists, ones that new and seasoned, and people that maybe provide me with 2 works that they've done. And we go from there. And I'm thinking about making the first annual Drift Studio and Friends something that will support someone else.
So I'm seeing you have a plaque or some kind of plaque from Arts Westchester. I love this Equal Rights Amendment piece. And it's very Afrocentric, Is that the way you're going to keep it, Because there are people of color, there are brown people, there are yellow people.
Well, this exhibit, which is entitled Black Life Through Time, was supported by Arts Westchester and the local legislature and government.
That's good.
So that's what it's about. So it's going to be taking it from an Afrocentric look through time. That's why I have a clock here, which is actually ticking, if you can hear the tick. But so it takes you through time, and it starts out in Africa, kings and queens, a beautiful people, etc. It goes through different types of mass, tribal encounter, and then it moves on from there. And it will, like I said, feature a 9-foot giraffe, and we'll have other items that are going to go through it through time. It has a timeline that some people might remember these things that happened along the way. Some might not. It also goes through local people that everybody will know. And then it has a few people that people might not know.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to say the very least.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not always a Afrocentric feel to everything that I do, but for this one here, it happens to start out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that when I interviewed you last time, unless I was having a premonition, you had started that giraffe.
I might have. I think I had him cut out, and I just left him to the side and said that he will appear somewhere down the road.
Down the road. I do remember you talking about the giraffe.
Yeah, he was probably cut out, and he was probably in back of the sofa in my home studio. Yep, he was probably there.
Okay.
And
It was a Zoom because it was
right,
COVID.
right.
That's right. So how was your creativity during COVID? Everybody has a story.
Creativity during COVID was good because that's where I started getting back into my art. I mean, I was an art teacher for at least 10 years or so. And,
10 years.
then I went on to working with, children, young children. And we had to stay home for like, 3 months or so. And from there, I started with African masks. And then I was like, you know what, let me branch out from there. And I've branched out.
Yeah, you definitely have branched out. So after this year goes 2026, in numerology, I hear it's a number 1 year. Number 1, we're off to a new start. It sounds like you're off and running. You had a running start. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So, do you ever think of exhibiting with your daughter?
Actually, yes, because she's a writer, and she's actually going to be part of the Drift Studio and Friends. So, but we have talked about doing a few things together, and you never know.
That's true. I can
Stay
see
tuned.
you're going to go far. I can tell.
Well, that's good.
You know,
Your manifest it.
yes, we'll manifest it. So just send it up. It's out there. And I think that your art is just magnificent.
Thank you.
Because it's from the heart, it's honest, and there's nothing being hidden. You're in there. You're in there. And there's just no doubt in my mind about it. I'm so glad that you let me interview you again.
Thank you.
This is good, and I can hardly wait till your exhibit opens. It's opening on January 16th.
Actually, it opens the 17th.
The 17th.
It's going up on the 16th. There's a reception on February 15th, which is a Sunday.
Okay.
And I hope a lot of people come out to see. And I want to have like a discussion with folks. Ask me questions, and hopefully I can get somebody to host the questions period, so that they can know that they can ask questions on recycling, on different types of art, saving our planet, our animals in the ocean, and things like that. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Thank you so much, Tanya. You're like the best.
Yes.
This is the most relaxed interview I've done in a long, long time.
Well, that's good.
I have to say, in your studio. And there's always more to talk about.
Always.
Yes.
Yes.
How can people contact you if they want to?
They can contact me on Instagram, Tanya. I have a Drift Studio, but it's drift_studio_by_Tanya on Instagram. On Gmail, they can contact me through tanyasdriftstudio@gmail.com, or they can contact me from my regular email at treyunique.com.
I like that one. Yes, that's great. Well, I'm really happy for you, and I know that this exhibit coming up is going to be a tremendous success.
Thank you.
It will, and we'll do everything we can to talk about you all over the world.
Okay.
You never know. People sometimes come from out of the country.
Well, that would be good, because one of my things for 2026 is to get an exhibit in New York City.
Ooh.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, so am I.
It's coming.
I'll be at that one too, for sure, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanya Johnson, and thank you, audience, for coming to listen to another episode of the Energy Stoners Cafe. And of course, I love seeing you on Talk with TQ on cable and YouTube. See you next time. Bye.